for people who are watching this who maybe have not met you, have
Yes.
not known about JMHA, how did Jesus Mercy Home Association come about? What's your role in it?
My father was the first Christian in this whole area in the year 1957.
1957.
He accepted Jesus.
Yeah, and he was from a Hindu
A
background.
Hindu background, and my grandpa was a Hindu priest. Then within 2 years' time, his whole family, six siblings and parents, they became Christian.
Yeah.
So in those days, there is no pastors to lead the church. So my father, in the year 1959, when he was 17 years old, he became a pastor to his whole family to lead the church.
Wow.
This is how God started the ministry, initiated the work through my dad.
Yeah.
And my father baptized his father, who was a Hindu priest, within some years' time. And still you can see the temple which was built my grandpa in my village.
Yeah.
In the same village, at the other corner, the church which was built my dad. You can see the both in the same village.
Yeah.
My father established this ministry, JMHA ministry, to plant churches. And when he became a Christian, there were no single Christian when my father accepted Jesus. But when he died, he handed over as 40 churches.
40 churches.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Even though there is a democracy, rights for democracy, but the majority Indian leaders are Hindus, so the minorities are dominated by them. Even we had some kind of freedom 10, 20 years back, but now we really don't enjoy the real freedom to plant a church, to proclaim our faith, to share the gospel. In many years back, we can build a church in the village, but nowadays, government has a criteria. We need to apply to the government to get the permission. But they used to ask many documents, but some documents they will ask which we never able to provide.
Yeah.
So by telling that, then they said you don't submit that document, so we cannot give you license. So, and also some Hindu parties, they have appointed a team of people in all the villages, and if they take a picture or take a video of some Christian sharing gospel or distributing books, they will be given some bonus money or extra gift for them. So considering all these facts, we find very difficult to proclaim our faith with freedom.
And you have, you've got pastors in your network who have experienced persecution.
Yeah,
quite a lot.
many. Just from here, 6 kilometers, we have a mission field called Muttunaikenpatti, Yemmenpatti. That pastor died 3 years back, John Chelaya. Do you remember?
Yes.
John Chelaya was sponsoring by you.
Yes.
Some years through Loving You.
Yeah.
John Chelaya was beaten by Hindu people many times. He used to go by bicycle to many villages, and he was beaten many times. Even once he was bedridden for 2-3 weeks because of some kind of attacks by the Hindu people. And in some areas we have experienced, they don't allow the people come into the church building. They stop them and they don't allow the people there. In some areas, if people become Christians in the villages, they will not be allowed to take water from the public well. They will not be allowed to walk into the street road. They will not be allowed to take part into any local celebration. So these are the most critical time is, if somebody die, they will not allow to bury them in the burial ground.
Yeah.
They say you are Christian, we don't have burial ground to Christians. This is really nowadays a big concern to our JMHA ministry. People have the heart to come to Christ, but their question is, if I die, where you will bury us?
Yeah.
Because our people will not leave us, allow us there. So considering all these facts, Satan is stopping people to come into Christ. But more than all these barriers, still God is doing some amazing thing.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Last week I had a testimony from a family from this village, just off 1 kilometer. Maybe we are going to cross now to see our hospital. That family shared, they are 30 years Christians in our church, and they shared about their experience, how they become Christians. And they shared one thing. When they become Christian, one of the local guys, local leader, demanding them for some temple tax money. but they are unable to pay that money those days. And then that particular man, they attacked them, and they also didn't allow them to get water from the public well.
Wow.
So they were very much suffering by this fellow.
Yeah.
But then the later days, that fellow died. But 3 years back, that man's wife and family, they became Christian. They became part of the church now.
Wow.
So sometimes God is doing marvelous thing
Yeah.
in the ministry. The person who is stopping Christ, the same person family,
Yeah.
they became followers of Christ later days.
Brilliant.
So our prayers never gone unanswered.
Amen.
But apart from this, we have a big networking with many hundreds of churches.
Mm.
Yeah. As you well aware in your regular visit,
Yes.
even we are able to assisting independent pastors and churches to establish ministry, to set up ministry in the unreached area, to build church buildings. So, and also equip local pastors to plant churches.
Yeah.
So in many ways we are helping independent pastors
Yeah.
in India. Now we have our ministry in 7 states of India.
Yeah.
So our churches, they are raising money to support other new churches in in North India.
Yeah.
This is our vision and aim. The church should have sustained, they should sustain themselves, and also they should be able to support other unreached mission fields.
Yeah. Could you just maybe share a little bit about the different projects that JMHA carries out in order to really practically show God's love to people?
Christianity, somebody said like this: Christians have a cross in one hand and broom in another hand. Cross stands for gospel work, broom stands for social work. We are mainly working in interior villages where people have lots of needs, or where people are living under poverty.
Yeah.
So we are, and also our main vision is to reach unreached. So when we plant a church, or when we have a vision to establish a church, first we appoint a church planter, and they try to research people according to their need and according to their culture. We try to meet their needs. We have a project called Adopt a Village. We adopt a village and we gradually give education to the children, because in many villages there are some government schools, but sometimes children need to walk even 5 kilometers, 7 kilometers to reach a government school. Sometimes they go to school, but the education is not really very good. So we are establishing evening children care centers in those villages, and we appoint our own teacher and helper to help the children to be educated. Also, we share Jesus to them. We share discipline. We share the eternal life. So it is not only a social activity. This, in a way, it is a, how can I say? This is a holistic care.
Holistic. Yeah.
Spiritual, social, and educational.
Yes.
Yeah. And we have a medical team. As you well aware, we have a hospital, rural medical team.
Yeah.
They go to the village and they do some free medical camps to the children.
Yeah.
So we want to see the in the Adopt a Village project, we want to see the village to see a change within 5 years' time, socially, spiritually,
Yeah.
educationally, and economically.
Yeah. So JMHA adopts a village.
Yes.
And then you work through all these various
Yes.
means to bring
So
change.
within 5 years' time,
Yeah.
finally, we want to see a church there.
Yeah, sure. Another thing you do as a church is you sponsor individual children
Yes.
in families or in their remaining families
Yes.
in villages.
Yes.
How does that work?
What happened, many villages, they are unable to afford to send their children to school or to even feed their children, because they don't have what? Many parents, they don't have education.
Yeah.
They don't have education, they cannot have a permanent job in the offices or in the companies.
Yeah.
So they need to go for farming work or brick companies or quarries, something like that. But in the rainy season, they will not have this work also.
Yeah.
Because in the rainy time, they will not have work. So through our ministry, we are finding poor families, those are unable to afford
Yeah.
for their children education and food, and we provide them child sponsorship.
Yeah. Fantastic.
And I can tell you the last 20 years of your support, how children are blessed. Muraj.
Okay.
Muraj is one of your sponsored boy,
Yeah.
and he lost his father when he was 5 years old.
Okay.
And he has a brother, his name is Lawrence.
Okay.
So Muraj and Lawrence, they came to this orphanage, and I contacted Love India. Love India started to sponsor to them,
Yeah.
and both of them, they have completed their higher secondary education,
Yeah.
and then they went to college. They are the first university degree holders in their community.
In their community.
They are
Wow.
very proud of that, and we are proud of that. Love India
Yes.
should proud of that.
Yeah, yeah.
They are the first university degree
That's brilliant.
holders.
That's brilliant.
And Muraj became Christian, and
Yeah.
when he were living here, they heard about Jesus, they got baptized. Now he has a company of auto rickshaw, you know auto rickshaw?
Okay. Yeah.
And Yelumalai also sponsored by Love India,
Yeah.
and he also studied in this orphanage with his sister Ronnie.
Yeah.
And Yelumalai father died when he was too young,
Yeah.
and when he came here, his mother also died because of breast cancer.
Yeah.
But Yelumalai was very bright in studies, and then he undergone some medical training, X-ray training. So I am very glad now he is working as
Yeah.
X-ray staff in the X-ray department in the
Yeah.
Ortho Hospital in Salem,
Yeah.
whom you visited a day back.
Yeah.
A needy family
Yeah.
and a needy church.
Yeah.
So the support is going through the pastor.
Yeah.
So they are connected to the local church.
Yeah.
So they start to come to church, the pastor meet them. So it is not only financial support.
So your financial support, you've got a network of 40 churches who all support each other.
Yes, yes.
And you also, I guess, you use some of those
Support.
tithes and support to do projects that really
Yes.
reach the community.
Yes.
You have some support from overseas,
Yes.
such as Love India.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, we encourage our churches
yeah.
to at least give some tithing to the ministries of JMHA, to
Yeah.
other projects. And also, Love India is helping us in many ways. And Love India helping us child sponsorship.
Yeah.
Love India helping us in establishing evening children care center.
Yeah.
And Love India also helping some one-time needy project in the time of crisis.
Yeah.
And sometimes Love India help us for the leprosy project.
Yeah.
So we should be we want to thank you, Richard, and all the sponsors standing behind you
Yeah, and
for support us.
that is who it's about. We are just Love India is just facilitating
Yes.
people who want to reach out, make the gift.
Yes,
happen,
yes. You know, each and every pound, every penny that you are sending is a big blessing to us.
Yeah.
I can say that. And your prayers and your support is really very valuable to us, because we are serving in huge way.
Thank you for sharing your vision, sharing your heart, sharing your work. I know how hard you work, how dedicated you are, how your whole family is involved
Yes.
in reaching out with the message of new life for now and for eternity. The church here is so inspiring in the way that it really reaches the needs of local people, demonstrating in very practical ways the love of God.